When I was first diagnosed with a blood disorder in Saginaw, there was some, I don't say confusion or some doubts, what is this really? And that's kind of led me here to Grand Rapids to Spectrum. And the experts here were able to really pinpoint it. And I had aplastic anemia, which is quite rare.
It's a combination of bone marrow failure, where he destroys his own blood cells. And the unique thing about this disease is its tendency to transform into acute leukemia. So it's a sort of chronic but fatal disease.
We had our first meeting with Dr. Alhamsi. We were both kind of apprehensive. He came in, smiled, shook our hands, and said, "Hello, friends," and just set the tone for the meeting. We felt totally comfortable and confident in him. And when he walked out of the room, Jim and I looked at each other, and we both said we did the right thing.
And one thing led to another, and we followed through, and I had a bone marrow transplant. Stem cells were donated by my brother, and who turned out to be a perfect match. And all's well, as I am in the recovery stage now.
Throughout all of this, he kept his spirits and he kept believing. And every time he asked me a question, we would look at each other and say, "Together we'll get over it." And it took us about 6 months, but here he is now, clear of the virus and doing remarkably well. Doing the stem cell transplantation is not the work of one person, and with him coming relatively from far area, we're fortunate enough to be able to lodge him across the street at Renucci's house. That made his care much easier.
When I first came here, I wasn't sure I even wanted Renucci House. I thought it was going to be very difficult being in the hospital all day with Jim. I wanted to come to a place where I didn't have to think about anyone being sick. I didn't want to have to hear anybody else's problems. And on the contrary, Renucci has been wonderful. There's a wonderful support group there. Anything you need, if they don't have it, they will get it for you.
Jim is an avid runner. Even during his transplantation procedure, every time I would go to him and shake his hands and say, "Jim, how's it going?" the first thing that would come out of his mouth, "I'm doing very well. I walked 2 miles, I walked 3 miles." So he really never stopped this activity.
I do walk every day. I've walked well over 100 miles. One of my goals would be to run the marathon again next year. Now, Dr. Alhamsi said, maybe you should start with a half marathon.
The success of the program has been exceptional in every aspect. 2 years ago, there was no adult blood and marrow transplantation program simply in West Michigan. We started from scratch, and to find ourselves 2 years ago with more than 140 transplants performed is absolutely unique. We came to an institution that clearly had resources and commitment to deliver this kind of service to the community. We are fortunate to be experienced physicians building that program in a community, whether it is medical community and hematologists supporting the idea and providing us with the referrals and the support to take care of these patients, to a community of donors with generosity that I must say I've never encountered before anywhere in the nation.
But I'm very proud of him and just forever grateful to the entire staff here. We couldn't have picked a better place.